If you've ever wondered how all of these tiny little LEDs and even tinier little resistors get put into place, it's not always with the robot. This is an LED stencil, and this is an LED board that the stencil was used on. In order to do that, you have to be extremely skilled and patient, and also very familiar with solder paste. I'm not really good at that stuff, but my man Jin is, so let's check it out from the master himself at Corsomotion, and then we'll put these things to use. This crazy little LED stencil right here is just a piece of metal with a ton of little cutouts in it, and solder paste has to be pushed through the little holes perfectly aligned on that circuit board, making the pad for the LEDs and resistors. And then it needs to be hit with heat so that all that stuff liquefies, turns into solder, and it's good to go. And it's hard. And I'm gonna show you exactly what it looks like on this video. It's good looking stuff.
But here.
What's that?
Here is a little bit less.
Oh yeah.
But in this case, you can do it again.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yup.
That's freaking crazy.
You can do a bit better after, you know, just place this with some holding with the adhesive tapes.
Right.
The best condition.
That is so cool.
So this one has the marks, and LED has marks too. Much better than just soldering all the LEDs each by each.
Yeah, this is perfect, dude. We got the man, the myth, the legend to show us. I filmed this for me, but I'm gonna share it with other people.
Okay.
That was miserable. And that lens is still so freaking dirty. I had to solder paste all of that stuff on there, and by me, I don't even mean me. I have to hit this with the heat gun now because I'm hoping so much that that's all I needed to do. Then I have to flip the resistors. If all those LEDs stick perfectly, I'm just praying that this works. Here we go. This is a metal stencil, and it's got all these little cutouts on there, both for the solder where it needs to go on the LEDs, as well as where it needs to go for the resistors. I've taken a little piece of double-sided tape and I've stuck that on the board, as you can see right there. I'm gonna put another one right there. All I'm gonna try to do is get this top row of resistors done. There's actually 2 rows for the LEDs that we did 2 rows of. So I have to perfectly align all of those little openings right there with the resistor little pads. I don't know, it's gonna be hard. Let me just try to figure this out. This is friggin' hard. Wow, this tape is way too strong. Wow, okay. I need to take some of this solder paste. Actually, I should probably just do it right down the middle. I have no idea how much of this to use. And I basically just push it down into those little holes. I don't know what I'm doing. It seems like it's doing a good job. I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong. My arm is tired. I think I'm just tense because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Okay, that's where I'm gonna stop. Let's see what happens now. I can't tell if it did anything. I mean, I guess. Let's try to put some resistors on and find out. Now the good news is, instead of having to spend all the time it would take to solder all of those LEDs and resistors onto this board, you could just buy the thing good to go. If you enjoy nerding out like I do and making things like these Switchback Sequential LED strips from Corsomotion, smash that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss future free training like this one. what I'm gonna do right now is snap off these strips. And we're gonna use them on a set of WRX fog light bezels to very easily make a Switchback Sequential LED strip. Now, the first thing we have to do is cut into that little housing, and I've already done so on one of them, but I'm gonna show you how to do it with the tool from Milwaukee, which is a very, very useful tool in the custom lighting world. Once you know how to do that, you're gonna be able to take stuff like this, put it in your side markers, your fog light bezels, even your headlights, and quickly turn a $36 LED strip into something that you would otherwise have to pay $1,000 or more for. Trust me, if you wanna buy these things from me, that's what you're gonna pay. This is a fog light bezel that I've already cut out the whole back part. And what I can do now that I have these guys, I just need to trim it down. And when I do trim it down, I could tell you just by looking at this thing that I'm gonna have a very specific amount of channels left with this setup. So if I count it out right here, I can only fit that many. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 13 channels of each color. So 26 channels total. I got 28 channels available on the Ghost module. These things are gonna be insane. Here's the other cool thing. If you accidentally cut too many things off like I did right now, these things will solder back together extremely easy, which we're gonna have to go do right now. All right, this is a brand new fog light bezel. I've never even touched it, and you can see there are some LEDs inside of it already. And even though they're probably amazing, I'm sure they're actually not, I am going to cut these wires, and then later, I'll probably even reuse this thing for something else. So what we want to do right now is cut along this side. And to do that, we're going to use this oscillating tool from Milwaukee, from their M12 line. And literally, I'm just going to cut a line that way, cut a line that way, and then I'll bridge the two probably with my ultrasonic cutter. All right, so we're all done, we're cut through, and we've got this dope little bezel that we can work with now. And I think it's actually gonna look super sick. Just the fact, this is a really cheap aftermarket part, but we're gonna turn it into something really, really cool here. And I think it's just gonna be pretty awesome. We might even have these things dipped later on so that they can match the headlights that I have the Switchback Sequential in as well. We'll see. For now, all we're gonna have to do is solder on the little piece that I accidentally cut too far off of. So let's go over to the bench and start working on this. So I got a little bit too excited because of this video, because I know it's gonna help people do awesome, awesome things. And I cut that dude a little bit shy of where it should have been. But on the back side, we've got these nice little solder pads. So I am going to do a very quick repair job. Now the cool thing is you can make really custom shapes and bend this thing doing that same exact thing, running a tinned wire down all of the positive section, and then you can bend it this way and that way. You can bend it every way that you want so that it sits in the exact shape that you need. Now in this case, it's pretty straightforward because what we need is just a straight little section, but now it's gonna go the full length of it because I cut it a little bit shy. So what we need to do next is hook this thing up to some ribbon wire, which I have here. On the back side of this, there's two little pads just above these resistors, and it says A and B, and that's gonna be for my amber LED and my white LED. So each one of these little pairs of ribbon wire has to be connected to that solder pad. Because this is so small, I actually used this 10 wire ribbon because I thought that it would keep everything way more tidy. So that means if we have 26 channels, we have 26 individual wires going to those pads. Something else to take note of too is if you have something that bridges that A or B to that little plus pad on the bottom, it can cause some problems on the Ghost module. I didn't notice when I was soldering everything, but I did bridge one of those, which meant that when I hooked it up to the computer using this little cable right here, it actually sent power directly to the Ghost module that then bridged with a ground and it fried one of the channels. The cool thing is with the Ghost module, since I have 28 channels to work with, I was able to substitute channel 27 and 28 for my fried channels, which were actually 22 and 23. So Jin actually came out at like midnight the other night and hung out with me, teach me how to do the stencil stuff so that I could put something cool together for you, like these WRX front fog light Switchback Sequential crazy covers. I don't know, I'm excited to do more. I have so much more Corsomotion stuff and some unique LED parts as well coming, so stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed. If you're not, what are you doing? Hop into Sequential Squad if you don't know about that. In the description, all these things too. I'll see you next time.